I don't know what anyone else, but this stuff seems to be getting crazier and crazier. If you didn't watch that last press briefing with Trump, to boil it down, he threatened to annex the Panama Canal, which is an independent country that operates it, and I guess the state of Panama itself, as well as to convert Canada into a 51st state, even though it's massive and will be a lot of them, and also it's an independent country. And he threatened to put massive tariffs on Denmark to acquire Greenland. This is all in the guise of national security, is what he's saying. And this is when the Trump supporters usually come out and say, oh, well, he doesn't really mean it. This is his way of putting pressure on these countries. And here's my question for you, even if that is true. Does that help anything? Think about what you're talking about. Panama Canal is an independent country that controls almost all the global trade that passes between Asia and Europe. Threatening that country with war and military force is going to backfire. They have allies. No one else in the world is interested in the United States pulling this move, quite frankly. As for Denmark and Greenland, threatening a NATO member is crazy. Even if the United States pulls out of NATO, you still, if this was to escalate into a war, you would be fighting all of NATO. Again, with Canada. Nuclear armed powers that we would be going against in a massive war. Greenland is very resource rich, but this is madness at this point. And I'm truly at the point where I can't understand how the argument that I heard from the right wing and people who voted for Trump is that, well, no new wars started under him, and all of these continuous things saying how he doesn't really mean it, etc. How do you reconcile these very genuine threats he's making and the actions that he's saying he's going to take, aside from just destroying our alliances? And if you think, oh, well, that puts America first, tell me, how does creating trade wars, how does making other countries angry at us put us in a better position? For those of you who don't know, Denmark is increasing its military presence around Greenland. We are putting people who, this is true, we are putting American lives in danger if we were to go into conflict with Denmark. There are more soldiers near us now. That doesn't make us safer. If your idea is, oh, America first, then probably starting a frickin' war with a European ally is probably not the best idea. I hope at this point, it's not even, he hasn't even gone into office yet, that there's some light bulb that goes off in people's heads that makes them realize, these comments that he makes are not false. He truly believes them. And you might say, oh, you're just a hyperbolic liberal. I'm not a liberal by any stretch of the imagination. But you don't threaten war as a president of the United States without some form of repercussion. It's insane.